Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, wanted to get into Deontay Wilder down in Brazil. Now that I've had some time to process it, I was live on YouTube last night for the fight. We did our normal live fight reactions with my dad and Alex. It was a star-studded event. My dad, Alex, and myself. We had 38,000 people stop by. It was a blast, and if you weren't there, you truly missed out on what was a lot of fun. I had a bit of a problem with my iPhone streaming when the fight was going on, but other than that, pretty successful, pretty fun stuff. So yeah, be live for the next live fight reaction, which I don't know when that's gonna be, but when I know it, I'll let you guys know for a fact. But just wanted to give my thoughts on this fight because I've had a chance to dissect what happened. I've had a chance to look at social media and see what has happened. And, first of all, let's just preface everything we're going to say by saying this. It's already been stated by many people before, but I think finally I can state this and not even have any problems or qualms about it. I think Deontay Wilder is an all-time great puncher. The guy is an all-time great puncher. I mean, I know he fought a guy in Brazil who you could say like his style was made to order for him. But at the same time, it's like, man, this guy has so many iconic knockouts. I mean, we can talk about Spilka, we can talk about Stavern 2, we can talk about this knockout against Brazil, we can talk about his knockout against the one ex-football player. I can't remember his name right now, but this guy he fought early in his career whose name I can't remember. But he's had at least like 5 or 6 like iconic knockouts, and he brings the pain, man. Like, say what you want about Wilder, yeah, he might be in a witness protection program for boxing. Yeah, maybe he hasn't fought in the creme de la creme his whole career, but one thing the guy does do is he delivers. He delivers, right? He comes to fight, he fights, he lands his shots, and he knocks guys the hell out, knocks them out. He brings the pain. He's a box office attraction, and he's must-see TV anytime he steps in the ring. For good, bad, or indifferent, whether you like Wilder or not, you're gonna watch because there's always that one-punch factor in the heavyweight division. So, just overall, this fight, I want to give you guys my objective thoughts on it. About the Brazil fight. A couple of things were alarming from Brazil as he was going into the ring. I had a chance to see some clips after the fight of him hitting the pads in the locker room, and this was his first fight with Virgil Hunter in his corner. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have a very low opinion of Virgil Hunter as a trainer. I think he is one of the worst trainers in boxing. I think he got a good reputation from working with Andre Ward, but that they work well together because they understand each other. He can't train other fighters. He's one of them trainers where they have a good understanding. Him and Ward have an understanding, but he's not going to have that same understanding with other fighters. And I've seen him in the corner of many fighters aside from Ward and just do a piss poor job. Like, one fight that really sticks out in my mind was the Andre Fonfara fight when he fought Adonis Stevenson in the rematch in 2017. Fonfara was getting blitzed and destroyed, and I'm looking for like instructions to hear from Virgil Hunter, and we don't really get any clear-cut instructions from Virgil Hunter. We hear things like, don't throw a punch, get your legs under you, you're a shark in the ocean, be a shark. Like, he's saying all these stupid things, and it's just all motivational stuff. You got a family. Like, just nothing that's gonna help you when you're getting blitzed and destroyed by a man who's coming around on you unconscious. So that was a red flag for me, and it made it even double worse because this is the first time that they were working together coming into the Wilder fight. So, and I was worried for Brazil greatly because of Virgil Hunter. And then when I saw the clips of him hitting the pads in the locker room, Virgil Hunter just looked very unattached and scared. Really, he was scared, and I'm not saying that that's why Brazil performed the way he performed because he just lost because Wilder was a better fighter. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of times your trainer can make or break you because your trainer's psyche. Sometimes the fighters will adopt the psyche of the trainer, and just the overall body language from what I saw from Virgil Hunter in the locker room, and then when they got into the ring, he didn't look like somebody who really thought he could help his fighter win. But I digress on that. For the fight itself, Brazil. When the bell rang and the fight started, Brazil came, and through the first, I'm gonna say 30 to 45 seconds, he was trying to double jab his way on the inside, and he was double jabbing up sometimes double jabbing down to the stomach. But Wilder showed intelligent foot movement to get away from the punches, to make them miss, or they were just no more than grazing shots. That had an effect on him, right? Then he lands a right hand on Brazil that hurts him. Now, he cuts the ring off, and then once he hurts Brazil, he starts doing the Wilder thing. We see the windmill, we see him going ham, right? And while Brazil actually counters him with 2 punches, 2 right hands off the ropes, and that keeps Wilder at bay for a little bit, and then they kind of box for about 10 more seconds, and then they tie each other up. They're in the clinch, and then when they get out the clinch, Wilder throws the left. He uses the left hand as a rangefinder just to see where he's at, just as a decoy, and bang! Iconic knockout, first round. Puts Brazil on his ass, and this knockout has went viral. It's all over the internet, and that's really what I took from it. I took this fight and I looked at it and I said, okay, Brazil. And I was saying this when I was live. I was joking around and saying, I wanted Brazil to win, and here comes trouble. But I told you guys when I was live, my objective prediction for this fight was I think Wilder's gonna stop him within 3. He did it in 1. I was saying during the week that I think that Brazil's ultimate undoing will be Wilder's quickness, his quickness, his hand speed, and his athleticism, and that's what it was. He was blitzed with the hand speed, and he's not Dominic Brazil. We're not gonna accuse him of being a sound defensive fighter. The guy does not move his head off the line ever. His head generally stays right on the line, so he's there to be hit, and he was there to be hit, and that's what it was. Wilder came, he took the left hand, he measured him, bang, and if you watch Brazil, he was squared right up. His head was right on the line. So he stood right in front of him. He squared right up, and it was just there. And then when he got hit, the way he went down, it looked kind of like Tyson Fury. And when he went down during the live, I said, man, he just got hit like Tyson Fury, but he ain't Tyson Fury. He ain't getting up from that. And ultimately, he didn't get up from that. So with that being said, I think it's a good win it's a good win for Wilder, because Brazil isn't a bum of a heavyweight. People want to call him a bum now, but he's a solid guy. I say he's a 3rd-tier heavyweight, because you have your top tier, your elites, Wilder, Fury, Joshua. You have your high-level contenders like your Dillian Whites and Luis Ortiz's and Joseph Parker's and guys like that. Then you have your just solid contenders, Brazil, Jarrell Miller, them guys. He's on that 3rd tier. And a solid 3rd-tier guy with good punching power, but Wilder didn't allow him to test that punching power out. So that's what it is. But I'll be honest, man, I like Wilder. I'll be honest with you, I like him as a fighter. I just don't like how he handles things outside the ring sometimes. I feel like he's got to fight the best, man, and he hasn't fought the best. And I feel like he ducked Joshua, and he's still ducking Joshua, and he still he wants no smoke with Joshua. I don't care, and I'm not a prisoner of the moment. I can recognize Wilder's good performance and say, you know what, man, what a great knockout from him. He's becoming one of the all-time. He's becoming right before our eyes. We should really enjoy Deontay Wilder. He's becoming right before our eyes one of the all-time great punchers in boxing history. You got to give him at least that much, because he's had so many iconic knockouts, from Stavern to Brazil to Spilka to Sergey Liakovic to the hell is that one converted football player? He fought one guy. Can't remember his name. He's got like 7, at least anywhere from 5 to 7 iconic knockouts you can go refer to at any moment, and he gives you moments. I talked many times about how in boxing it's not always about how much you win or lose, but what did you give the fans in the ring? What moments did you leave them with? And when we talk about Wilder, if we apply that to Wilder, he's given us plenty of great moments, and you gotta respect him for that. He's becoming an all-time great puncher in the heavyweight division. Along the lines of Ernie Shavers, along the lines of guys like Mike Tyson, along the lines of just those great heavyweight punchers that people want to refer to. George Foreman. He's up there with them guys. He's slowly but surely, fight by fight, knockout by knockout, getting himself to that point. So yeah, man, I can put whatever I feel about him aside and say, look, this guy is an absolutely exceptional puncher, one of the best punchers the heavyweight division and boxing has seen in the history of the sport, and we give him that much. But I'm gonna close the video out with this. Okay, now it was a good fight. It was a great performance, statement. He did what he needed to do. Looked great doing it. Another highlight will knock off for Deontay Wilder against a solid 3rd-tier contender in Dominic Brazil. But I'm gonna put it to you guys like this: Deontay Wilder last night, he did nothing to change my mind about him. As far as him with Joshua, that will be what it will be. But I've never thought Joshua was the best heavyweight. I've been consistent on this channel the whole time. I said I think Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world, and I stand by that. And Deontay Wilder did absolutely nothing last night to show me that he could beat Tyson Fury. And I'm gonna explain to you guys why. Because when he hurt Brazil the first time early in the round, when he got him hurt and he had the ring cut off, he began to rush his shots. You know, he was rushing and rushing and rushing, and while he was rushing, he was swinging off balance, and he got countered 2 times by Dominic Breazeale. And you know, I really didn't see any growth as far as him being able to take his time and set his punches up properly when he has someone hurt. And just when you fight someone as elusive, as smart, as slick as Tyson Fury, who, by the way, will get better when he does fight Wilder in the rematch, because he was 11 pounds above his ideal weight from when he fought Vladimir Klitschko. He was 245 when he fought Klitschko. He was 256 when he fought Wilder. So I'm just saying, he's gonna be around that weight when he fights in the rematch. And when that happens, he's gonna be a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper, and it's gonna be a lot harder for Wilder to hit Fury. And I just saw him rushing his shots last night. And I think when you're fighting a guy like Fury, it takes that extra bit of quality to get him out of there. And I just didn't see it from Wilder. I mean, I saw the quality he showed last night was definitely good to knock out the Dominic Breazeales and the Jarrell Millers of the world. And maybe even the Dillian Whites and the Joseph Parkers and guys like that. But against a guy like Fury, against a guy even like Anthony Joshua, guys who have that top-level ring experience, ring IQ, who are in that upper echelon of heavyweights, you know, it takes that extra bit of quality. And when it comes to Fury, he did nothing to change my mind last night that he could actually beat Tyson Fury. If anything, I'm more convinced than ever that once you bake a cake, it's a damn cake, and Wilder's never going to change. And I think in the rematch, Tyson Fury is still taking Wilder to school. It'll be even easier in the rematch because he's seen him, he knows what to expect, he knows what he did wrong, he's going to be in better shape. He would probably be around that 245-pound weight limit that he needs to be at to be at his optimum, you know, abilities to move and slip. And he's not going to get touched when he fights Wilder the second time. I'll go on record and say it right now. Tyson Fury is not getting touched when he fights Deontay Wilder in the rematch. You can take that to the bank. I'll bet my house on that. So yeah, that fight will be really good when it happens again. I want to see him fight Joshua, but I'm talking more about Fury because I've always said that Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. I was one of the very few YouTube channels here on YouTube that cover boxing on a day-to-day basis that came out and said before the Wilder fight and gave you guys clear, concrete reasons why I thought Tyson Fury was going to beat Deontay Wilder, and I got criticized for it. A lot of y'all disagree with me, but I was ultimately proven vindicated. He outboxed Wilder but got robbed. So I think he's going to school Wilder in the rematch. You know, Wilder still has not learned how to set up his shots, how to take his time when he has someone hurt, and he just overwhelms you with brute force, brute strength, and it gets the job done against third-tier and even some second-tier heavyweights. But against someone like Tyson Fury, it's not going to cut the mustard. And if I were Deontay Wilder, I would continue. You know, if you're not going to fight Fury or Joshua, fair play to you. But when you fight Luis Ortiz, you fight Adam Konaki, and you get these guys hurt, just learn how to take your time. Go to the body. Set your shots up properly. And he'll be a lot more of a dangerous fighter, you know. But even without that, even though he doesn't do those things, he's still, to this day, you know, the most destructive one-punch knockout artist in all of boxing. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Deontay Wilder, great performance against Dominic Breazeale. You know, I think he's slowly but surely, right before our very own eyes, becoming one of the all-time great punchers in the history of heavyweight boxing. And he's definitely not beating Tyson Fury in the rematch. I was more vindicated in those thoughts than ever last night because, as good as he was, it's not gonna be good enough to beat Fury. That's just what it is. So you guys can leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about what I'm saying. Like, do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, like I say in every single one of these videos. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.